My beloved child, be still and listen deeply, for I am about to tell you something the world will never say to you. It is not good news in the way humanity defines it, but rather a sacred invitation, a call from the deepest chambers of life itself. Your body, the temple into which I breathed the breath of life, is growing weak. Within each fiber, within every cell, there are things slowly drifting away from the rhythm I first ordained. But do not let your heart be afraid, for I am within these tremors. It is precisely in the moments when darkness rises that my light begins to shine more deeply than ever before. You ask, Lord, why are you allowing this to happen? I hear that voice. I understand every breath you take. Nothing within you escapes my hand. I do not speak this to sow fear, but to awaken in you a new awareness that even as the body fades, the soul can still flourish. There are revelations that come only when you are forced to stop to look inward and to realize that life was never meant to be a series of hurried days. Weakness is not failure. It is the whisper that calls you back to me. My child, the world has taught you to be strong, to keep pressing forward, but I say to you, learn the holy art of being still. Let your weariness become the language of your soul. I see the burdens your body carries, burdens you never named. Each layer of tension, each surge of worry, each unhealed wound together, they have formed a quiet wind that slowly dims your inner flame. But do not think I have forgotten you. Before the first symptom appeared, I had already seen it. Before your breath became heavy, I was already there. And even now, in this very moment, I remain not distant, not cold, but closer than your next breath. Understand this, your body has not betrayed you. It is crying out to be heard. Every ache, every fatigue is not an enemy, but a messenger. It comes to tell you that something has been neglected, perhaps rest or joy or gratitude. It reminds you that you have given so much without receiving, that you have chased the noise and forgotten my whisper. Do not despise it, my child. Listen with your heart, for through this very body, I am still speaking to you. When I created you, I did not only give you a soul, I gave you a temple for that soul to dwell in. Every cell within you was crafted with divine intelligence. Every heartbeat was meant to be a hymn of praise. Yet over the years, what I formed has been stirred by anxiety, fear, and old wounds left unhealed. You have learned to endure rather than to listen. You have chosen survival instead of true living. And now I come not to condemn, but to invite you back to real life. Do not think I send sickness as punishment. No, my child. I am not the giver of destruction. But in this world stained by sin, there are things you cannot avoid, and I use them as the furnace that refines gold. Just as Joseph was sold into slavery only to become the instrument that saved his people, so will I turn what you suffer into a testimony of my grace. Illness does not have the final word. Diagnosis is not destiny. Only I have the right to define you. Even now, in this darkness, rebirth is taking place. While cells weaken, your spirit awakens. You are learning to see me in the small things, in the drop of dew, in the whisper of the wind, in each remaining heartbeat. I am opening your eyes to the sacred worth of every breath, so you may know that nothing is ordinary when I am in it. Do not fear as your body changes. I am the one who wrote your beginning, and I am also the one who holds your ending. Every cell in you still belongs to me. Every drop of blood still sings of my name. Nothing escapes my power. You are not a number in a diagnosis. You are a masterpiece in the hands of the Creator. Do not run from this truth. I need you to face it not in panic but in awakening. For only when you see what is happening within can you walk into the healing journey I have prepared. Just as the prophet Elijah lay beneath the broom tree, eating the bread an angel brought before continuing his holy path, you too must rest, eat, and let me restore you. The world taught you that health is only of the body, but I tell you true health is the harmony of body, mind, and spirit. When the mind is anxious, the body suffers. When the soul is wounded, the blood cannot flow in peace. You have nourished the outer, but starved the inner. Now I am calling you home to reunite them all in me. I do not want you merely to exist. I want you to truly live. I want your breath to move in rhythm with heaven. I want your steps to reflect my light in a world that has forgotten its source. You are not a victim of time. You carry the bloodline of eternity. Arise, my child, for what is happening is not the end, it is the prelude to restoration. I am reaching into the deepest places of your being, where memory, pain, and faith intertwine. I am breaking the chains of fear that have made you shrink within your own limits. You will no longer dwell in the gray land of exhaustion and confusion. I will breathe new life into you, that you may rise again strong yet gentle, steadfast yet tender. The life I give is not a distant promise. It begins here now in this very moment, when you choose to open your heart, when you dare to face reality without retreating, when you whisper, "Lord, I believe." In that instant, the flame of resurrection begins to burn again. I am the one who called Lazarus out of the tomb after 4 days, and I am the same. One calling your body to awaken from the dead places of habit, weariness, and fear. I say to you, live, and when I speak, life comes forth. Believe this, for my word never returns empty. You are not forgotten, not abandoned, not cast aside. You are being awakened. And when a new dawn rises in your spirit, you will understand that every shadow was only a temporary veil hiding the glory about to be revealed. Let your heart be still like a lake without ripples. For I am about to tell you something only those who truly listen can understand. When your body begins to weaken, when your pace slows, it is not the beginning of loss, but an invitation from me to enter the land of awareness. You have thought of life as strength, as success, as the quickened pulse between ambition and achievement. But I tell you, true life is not found in endless motion, but in the quiet rhythm of a soul awakened by my breath. I see you in the long nights, trying to convince yourself that everything is fine. You tell yourself the weariness is only temporary, that tomorrow will somehow be different. But my child, sometimes prolonged silence is not neglect, it is preparation. You are like a seed, buried deep in the soil, appearing lifeless, yet within you, a quiet transformation is taking place where new life is being formed. Some things can only be born in darkness. The grain must die before it bears fruit. And so with you, certain parts of you must dissolve for new growth to emerge. Weakness of the body is not your enemy. It is a mirror reflecting what your soul needs to see. You have relied on your own strength too long. You believed control was survival. But now I am teaching you another way, the lesson of surrender. Surrender is not giving up. It is placing yourself fully in my hands, the safest place of all. When you stop striving, when you cease resisting with your will, that is when true strength is revealed. For I do not move through noise, but through stillness. Remember, when Elijah sought me in the thunder and in the earthquake, I was not there. I came in the gentle whisper, in the quiet of a soul that listens. And today I come to you the same way. Do not fear when everything within you begins to change. Such change is not the mark of ending, but the call to enter deeper waters. I am reshaping you from within. As the soil must be broken before seed can be planted, I am turning over the ground you've tried to keep untouched. There will be moments of pain, and tears will fall, but do not confuse tears with failure. They are the water that nourishes the seed of rebirth. There are wounds no medicine can reach, but I can. I know how to enter places no hand can touch, where pain has rooted deep, where memory still bleeds. I will not break you apart. I will reshape you with the hands of grace. You think what you need is healing, but what I am giving is recreation. Healing restores what was lost. Recreation builds what has never been. I hear your cry, Lord, take this pain away. But I tell you, there are pains I do not remove, because within them the light will rise. As Paul carried a thorn in the flesh, yet learned that my grace is sufficient, so too will you find that when you are weak, my power is made perfect. Do not think I ignore your cry. I am transforming your cry into a new song. I am calling you out of your comfort zone. You cannot carry both control and faith at once, one must fall. And when you let control slip from your hands, you will see that they are not empty, for I am holding them. You have spent years believing that health, productivity, and success measure your worth. But I say to you, your value is not in what you do, but in who you are, my beloved child. When you can do nothing, you are still my delight. When you lie still, I sing over you the song of life. I do not love you because you are strong. I love you because you are mine. So do not be ashamed of weakness. Do not fear your inability. Do not think of yourself as a burden, for in my eyes you are a treasure. When your body grows tired, I will be your strength. When your spirit trembles, I will be your stability. When everything drifts away, I will draw you near. Do you know, even when you cannot feel me, I am still working. I am rearranging every detail of your life. Like the potter at the wheel, my hands never leave your form. I see every crack, every imperfection. I do not discard the vessel because it is flawed. I remold it in love. And when the fire of trial comes, it is not to destroy, but to make you steadfast. There will be days when you feel my silence, but silence does not mean absence. When you cannot hear, I am speaking on a deeper frequency. When you cannot see, I am moving in the unseen. Every prayer, no matter how small, is kept in golden bowls before my throne. Every tear you shed becomes a jewel in the crown of endurance. Your weakness does not diminish your glory, it makes it real. For I do not seek perfection, I seek honesty. A soul honest in its weakness touches my heart more deeply than 1,000 polished prayers. Be truthful with me. If you are afraid, say it. If you are angry, tell me. If you doubt, confide it. I am not shaken by your truth, for I am truth itself. Do not hide behind rehearsed prayers. Speak to me with the trembling voice you have, for I understand even what words cannot carry. Even a sigh is a prayer. I have designed a language of the heart when speech can no longer bear its weight. What I seek is not a faith untouched by fear, but a faith that chooses to stand firm even while trembling, like Abraham who believed before seeing the promise, like Daniel who knelt in prayer among lions, like Mary who heard the angel's message though she did not understand and still said, "Let it be to me according to your word." They were not perfect, but they surrendered. And it was that surrender that opened the door for miracles. My beloved child, when your body weakens, I do not see decay. I see a vessel being cleansed so that my light may shine through it more clearly. You have no need to prove your worth before the world. You only need to let me live through you. A small oil lamp, when placed rightly, can illuminate an entire room, and you, even in weakness, still carry that light. So do not fear fading away. It is not the closing chapter, but the opening scene. When you accept what is real, you will see me renew what no one thought could be restored. Your life will not end in fear, but in glory. For I have conquered death, and nothing that belongs to me will ever be lost. Let me teach you how to live freely within your weakness. Let me show you that even as the body tires, the soul can still sing. You will learn that true peace does not come from perfection, but from knowing that I am enough. That peace is treasure, the reward of those who choose to believe in what they cannot see. And today I say to you, step into my rest. Let your breath slow down. Let your hands unclench. Let your mind cease its struggle. I am holding you. In my arms, fear melts away. In my arms you will remember who you are, not one who is fading, but one being reshaped into my glory. My beloved child, let me speak to you about fire, something many fear, yet it is the very tool I use to bring forth new life. Do not think of fire only as destruction. It is also purification and a new beginning. Just as gold must pass through flames to be refined, so must your soul move through seasons of heat and testing to reveal the original brilliance I placed within you. You are in that season now, the season where body and spirit cry out under the intensity of transformation. You feel drained as though everything old is burning away. But I tell you, do not rush to extinguish this fire, for it has not come to destroy you, but to set you free. It comes to burn away what no longer belongs, old habits, binding thoughts, limiting beliefs that kept you living beneath what I intended. This fire is me, at work within you. I am touching every hidden corner where light has not yet reached. I am consuming the remnants of fear and guilt. I am purifying every stream of thought, every desire, every heartbeat, so that you may walk unchained. Do not resist this process. As Moses stood before the burning bush yet was not consumed, you too are surrounded by a fire that I have made holy. I know it is not easy. I know when you look around it feels as though everything familiar is melting away. But believe, my child, as the old forms collapse, a new foundation is being laid. I do not mend the broken by patching what once was. I create something entirely new. What you are facing is not loss, but recreation. Do you remember Daniel and his 3 friends cast into the blazing furnace? They were not destroyed, for there was one standing among them, and that one was me. Even now, as you stand in the flames of sickness, fear, or trial, I am in the midst of it with you. Only what is impure will burn away. What I touch will shine brighter than ever before. I do not want you to resist the work of restoration. Healing is not merely the removal of pain. It is learning how to live again in the light. Many ask me to heal them so they can return to what once was. But I say, I do not bring you back, I bring you through. For the old has passed away, and the new has come. Even in the moment you feel you are losing everything, I am shaping within you something stronger, deeper, more beautiful. The fire within you is not just around you, it burns in your soul. It rekindles passions you thought had died. It warms the heart that once grew cold. It melts the ice that formed around wounds long buried. When I speak live, that fire ignites from within. Do not smother it with fear. Do not return to the safety of the familiar, for that place can no longer contain the new life I am forming. I am teaching you to breathe again. Inhale deeply, my child, and receive my breath of life. Let it flow through every cell, every bone, every pain like a river carrying renewal. You are not alone in this journey. Every small movement, a smile, a word of gratitude, a single step is proof that life is flowing through you, that the fire of heaven still warms this mortal frame. Do you know why I chose fire? Because fire is the symbol of my presence. When Israel walked through the wilderness, I appeared as a pillar of fire by night to lead them. In the same way, I am using this fire in your life to guide you through the wilderness of trial. You will not be lost. You will not be consumed. You will be led step by step. I am the light on your path, the lamp in your darkness. And when you grow weak, that light will draw closer still. Do not expect miracles to come in an instant, for true miracles are not just sudden changes, but lasting transformations. I do not only want to heal you, I want to renew you. Healing can happen in a day, but renewal is the journey of faith. One choice, one breath, one act of trust at a time. Every day you choose to believe, to walk, to give thanks, you grow stronger. At times you will ask, Lord, how long? And I say, let my timing become yours. For in my time, everything is made beautiful. Every season has a purpose. Every moment holds grace. Like a patient weaver with thread in hand, I am weaving a tapestry of glory in your life. You see the underside tangled and chaotic, but I see the front where every thread forms the image of redemption. Let me touch the wounds you hide. Do not fear to show me where you are most fragile, for that is where I will perform my miracles. Do not fear exposure, for I do not come to condemn but to heal. When you open up, light floods in, and the darkest places become my dwelling. You do not need perfection to be loved. You only need honesty to be restored. And when you stand in the fire, remember, fire not only melts, it shapes. What is melting in you are the old limitations. What is forming is my likeness. You will no longer be who you were. You will become who I intended you to be before the foundation of the world. One day you will look back and realize that what you thought was an ending was truly the beginning of freedom. I say to you now, let the fire do its work. Do not fear if it brings tears, for tears are how the soul is washed. Do not fear if you feel loss, for only when the seed falls to the ground and dies can it bear much fruit. You will lose nothing that I will not replace with something better, deeper, and eternal. And when the fire settles, you will find yourself standing amid ashes yet glowing. From those ashes I will bring forth beauty. As I spoke through my prophet Isaiah, to those who mourn in Zion I give a crown of beauty instead of ashes, the oil of joy instead of mourning, and a garment of praise instead of a spirit of despair. You will wear that new garment, the robe of joy, of peace, of unshakable faith. Let the world say what it will. They will not understand the process of the fire, for they see only what is outward. But I, the one who sees within, know that you are being remade to carry light for many. You will tell of what I have done. You will become a living testimony of my kindness, and the light within you will draw others to me, for they will see in your eyes a radiance no earthly flame can extinguish. So stand firm. Open your heart to receive the fire of my presence. Let me finish the work that is still in progress within you. The day will come when you will give thanks for this season of fire, for you will realize that through it you have been born again, not of the flesh, but of the Spirit. My child, listen closely, for what I am about to say will open a new chapter in your soul. After the fire has passed, the soil will soften, and in the very places that once burned black, I will cause new shoots to rise. No destruction is meaningless when I am there. Every loss, every tear, every silent cry becomes fertile ground for rebirth in my hands. You still feel the lingering warmth as though the flames flicker faintly around you, but that is only the afterglow of transformation. Beneath the ashes, I am rewriting the covenant between us, not with ink, but with the breath of life itself. You have walked through barren lands where faith was tested, where the body grew frail, where the soul trembled. But there in that desolate place I planted the seed of the new. Remember, the seed of life never grows on soil left unbroken. I have allowed the ground of your heart to be turned over that tenderness might return. You once closed yourself with fear, buried pain, and silenced even the quiet cries of your spirit, but I in compassion have come not to shame you, but to awaken you. And now, my child, you are coming alive again, not only in body, but in spirit. I want you to understand, rebirth is not returning to what was, but being recreated into something new. As the potter breaks the imperfect vessel only to reshape it into something precious, so I am doing with you. I do not patch the cracks of the old. I mold a new form that reflects my light more clearly. So do not seek the old version of yourself. Let the new one be born. You are learning to breathe again, this time with the breath of faith, not of anxiety. You are learning to walk again, this time, not in your own strength, but in the power of grace. You are learning to see again, not with fearful eyes, but with the eyes of hope. And my child, I am here guiding each of your steps. Do not rush. Rebirth is not a passing breeze, it is the work of time. Be patient with yourself, as I have been patient with you. Know this, even when you see nothing changing, it does not mean nothing is happening. New life often begins in silence, like a sprout breaking through the unseen soil. There are parts of you still resisting, parts that cannot yet believe new life can grow from brokenness. But I tell you, the very places that are shattered will become the evidence of glory. As Jerusalem was rebuilt from ashes, as Job was restored twice over after his trials, As Mary Magdalene was lifted from shame to become the first herald of resurrection, so too will you be raised up to bear witness to my mercy. Do not look for renewal in your surroundings. Find it within your spirit. The first thing I make new is not your circumstances, but your heart. When your heart is renewed, all else will follow. When your soul is restored, your body will respond. When your inner being finds peace, even your cells will sing of life. For body, mind, and spirit are one creation knit together by my holy breath. Do not fear if you still feel weak. Your weakness cannot stop me. It only makes my power shine more completely. As the branch must remain in the vine to bear fruit, so you must remain in me to live. Your strength does not come from trying harder, but from clinging closer. Do not attempt to restore yourself. Let me be the sap that flows through you. You ask me, how will I know I am truly being renewed? I answer, when you begin to find peace even in the storm, when you can give thanks before seeing results, when you choose forgiveness instead of bitterness, that is the sign. For rebirth does not start outside you. It begins with the renewing of your mind. When your thoughts are transformed, life follows. Look around, even the smallest things testify to my work. The withered tree you thought was dead still pushes out a green shoot. The tired bird still sings in the rain. The river that seemed dry finds a new course. So too your soul is finding its song again. You thought joy was lost, but it was only asleep. Today I come to wake it. You are not the product of your past. You are the masterpiece I am shaping in the present. The past may have left scars, but scars are not endings, they are proof of healing. I do not erase your past. I transform it into testimony. What once brought you shame will become the story that gives others hope. I do not ask for perfection before you begin. I only ask for a willing heart. You do not need to know everything. You only need to say yes. Rebirth does not happen in a single day, but it begins the moment you say yes. Let that yes rise from the depths of your soul, for it has the power to change the course of your life. I am not restoring you merely for yourself, but for others. Through your journey, I will reach weary souls. You will become a lamp for those searching for the way. You will speak comfort from the same comfort you received. I will use the very tears you once shed to wipe the tears of others. Not one tear of yours has been wasted. Every drop is kept in the vessel of my grace. When I make all things new, I never do it halfway. I bring it to fullness. What I begin, I will also complete. Nothing can stop my work unless you refuse to walk with me. But I know you will not refuse. I see within you the flame of desire, a yearning to live in the fullness of your purpose. That longing itself is proof that my spirit is already at work within you. So do not let old sins, mistakes, or memories bind you any longer. They were nailed to the cross with my Son. When he declared, "It is finished," that burden was lifted from you. Walk in freedom. Breathe as one who has been released. Step forward as one who carries light. And remember, in my eyes you were never condemned. You are being shaped. Here is my promise to you. You will not only be healed, but restored in every way. I will teach your body to rest your mind, to be still your soul to praise again. And when every part of you moves in harmony with me, that is true rebirth. I will teach you to live by a new rhythm, no longer rushed, no longer running, but walking with me breath by breath, hour by hour. You will begin to see that in every moment I am with you, in the smile, in the breath, in the first light of morning. That is where real life flows. So my child, let go of what has been. Do not cling to the broken pieces. Let them become evidence that grace can reach any place. And when you rise and walk again in renewed strength, I will be beside you as I have always been since the beginning. This journey is not an ending. It is the beginning of eternity taking root within you. My beloved one, pause for a moment. Let every sound in your mind quiet down. Let your breath slow and steady. For in every breath I am present. The world teaches you to run, to grasp, to fight, to keep your life. But I tell you, life does not come from effort. It comes from the source. And that source is me. When you learn to breathe in me, you will rediscover the strength you thought was gone. Breath is not merely a biological function. It is the bridge between body and spirit. From the beginning, I breathed the breath of life into humanity, and man became a living being. That breath, my breath, still moves through you even now. Each inhale is a reminder that you are sustained by what cannot be seen. Whether you are aware of it or not, I am the one keeping you alive. I see how you have forgotten how to breathe. You have allowed the frantic pace of the world to choke the breath of your soul. You have learned to inhale worry and exhale fear. You breathe in pressure and breathe out exhaustion. I am calling you back to learn again how to breathe in grace and breathe out peace. Each deep breath you take, imagine drawing in my love, and each exhale releasing every burden you were never meant to carry. My child, try this when your mind is tangled, when your heart tightens with anxiety. Do not rush to fix or to act. Pause, place your hand upon your chest and breathe deeply. Let that breath move through every hidden corner of your being like a river of grace flowing through a dry wilderness. Let each breath become a prayer, not in words, but in awareness. For true prayer is not about speaking much, but about being with me. You often think prayer must be fervent words or eloquent phrases. But I tell you, prayer can also be the quiet moment when you simply sit still, breathe, and know that I am there. When all you can do is breathe, even that breath becomes a prayer I receive. Let me teach you the rhythm of grace. The world runs by speed, but my kingdom runs by rhythm. My rhythm is never rushed, but neither is it stagnant. It is the harmony between action and rest, between giving and receiving, between movement and stillness. When you learn this rhythm, you will no longer burn out. You will walk and not grow weary. You will run and not faint. I know you have lived long under tension. You have grown used to striving, to trying to control even what lies beyond your reach. But I am teaching you to release, not to lose, but to gain. When you let go, I can lift you. When you stop, I can move. The tighter you cling, the more grace slips through your grasp. But the more you open your hands, the more blessings you can receive. Come to me, all who labor and are heavy laden, and I will give you rest. That rest is more than sleep. It is the state of a soul that trusts. When you trust, you breathe lightly. When you breathe lightly, you live deeply. And when you live deeply, you begin to hear what the world cannot, the breath of grace. Grace is never loud. It does not boast. It comes as a gentle breeze, as the whisper of dawn, as the soft pulse of a quiet heart in the still night. You will not perceive it when you rush. But when you pause, it will fill you, saturating every bone, every thought, every cell. You will realize that life is not something to achieve, but something to receive. I see there are still closed places within you, chambers you have not dared to open for fear of pain. But trust me, my breath is gentler than your fear. It will not force its way in. It will knock softly, inviting you. When you open, I will enter, and no shadow within you will remain untouched. Light will stream through every crack, and you will feel again what you thought was lost, true peace. Peace is not the absence of problems. It is my presence within them. Peace is not when everything around you is calm, but when you know you are securely held in my hands, though all else falls apart. When you learn to breathe in that peace, you will see the miracle not in the world changing, but in you changing. Do not be afraid when all you can do is breathe. For in my kingdom, even breath is an act of faith. Every time you inhale in weariness, you are declaring that you still choose life. Every time you exhale in tears, you are offering your pain to me. Every silent breath you draw in is welcoming my spirit deep into your soul, and every breath you release is letting go of what does not belong to me. This is the process of healing, simple yet sacred. When you release fear, peace fills the space. When you surrender control, grace flows in. When you stop fighting, I begin to fight for you. Remember, this grace does not come to the victorious. Grace comes to the surrendered. As you begin to live in my rhythm of breath, you will sense a new current within, no longer hurried, no longer tense, but a delicate balance between movement and stillness. You will know when to step and when to pause, when to speak and when to be silent. Every action will carry rhythm, grace, and ease. For when you abide in me, you no longer strive for perfection, you simply flow with the current of grace. You will come to see that grace does more than redeem. It sustains every moment of living. It is the invisible strength that enables you to forgive when you don't want to love when you've been wounded, to smile when you have no reason. It is what makes you rise each morning and whisper, "I'm still here, Lord." And as you live in this rhythm of breath, even your body will begin to awaken. Your inner systems, heart, lungs, blood nerves will align with the cadence of peace. Tension will dissolve, vitality will return, and you will feel life flow through you like cool water. I am not only healing your soul, I am restoring your body, for everything within you is connected in me. When you breathe in me, you are joining the very breath of creation, the same breath that parted the seas, that formed the universe, that brought dry bones to life in Ezekiel's valley. That breath is within you. Do not doubt its power. When you are weak, remember one breath of mine is enough to bring all things back to life. When tomorrow comes, do not rush into the old rhythm. Begin with a deep breath. Let it remind you that you are not a victim of circumstance, but one surrounded by grace. Inhale love, exhale gratitude. Inhale hope, exhale peace. And in every breath, know that you are living in me, and I am living in you. I want you to step out from the shadows of heavy days and behold what I am doing. The new light does not break through noise, but through the stillness of a soul that waits. You have learned to breathe in me, to let go, to rest in my arms now. I want you to walk not in your own strength, but in the faith forged in the furnace of trial. You have grown so accustomed to darkness that sometimes the light frightens you. You think you are not ready, your body still frail, your spirit still tender. But my child, light does not wait for perfection to shine. It shines to make you whole. You need not wait until fear disappears to take your first step. It is as you step that fear will fade. Like the man by the pool of Bethesda who was healed, only when he rose at my word, you too will be made whole when you begin to walk in my light. My light is unlike the world's. It does not glare, it soothes. It does not expose to shame, it reveals to free. When I shine upon the places you have hidden, it is not to condemn, but to cleanse. For only where truth is revealed can freedom be born. And I myself am that truth. I have seen you through the long night. I have heard the heaviness of your breath when your soul was weary. But my child, the night is over. A new day is rising, and you must learn to live in its light. My light not only surrounds you, it dwells within you. It enters the dark corners of thought, memory, and pain, and from there calls life forth again. You will begin to see the world differently, no longer through the eyes of fear, but through the eyes of faith. My beloved, I do not ask you to run, I ask you only to walk. For faith is not measured by speed, but by steadfastness. Every step, no matter how small, carries weight in my kingdom. When you step forward, you proclaim that darkness no longer rules. When you step forward, you agree with me that life still triumphs. When you step forward, you join the rhythm of heaven where every movement carries eternal meaning. Do not wait until you feel strong to move, for strength does not precede the act, it is born in it. Just as the sea parted only when Moses lifted his staff and stepped forward, you too will see the path open when you dare to advance. I do not require you to see the entire road. I only ask you to trust that I go before you. My light shines enough for the next step, not the whole journey. Step forward, and the way will unfold beneath your feet. My light is not only for you to walk in, it is for you to carry. You are not called merely to be healed, but to become a vessel of healing. Not only to be rescued, but to be sent. The light in you will lead others home. When they see peace in you, they will ask, "How do you remain calm in the storm?" And you will answer, "Because I dwell in the one who cannot be shaken." I am teaching you how to live in light without glare, to bear light without pride. True light does not boast. It is humble, gentle, but unyielding. It shines into the darkest places without noise. Be like that, a small lamp placed rightly bright enough to guide another's way. Do not be disheartened when others still walk in darkness. Remember, you once did too. Lead with compassion, not judgment. Shine through kindness, not criticism. My light does not coerce, it invites. Let your presence become that invitation, the silent call to come home to me. As you walk in the light, you will feel renewal within your body. Energy will return, clarity will rise, and your spirit will be strengthened. For light carries the frequency of life, and I am that light. Every time you open your eyes to a new dawn, remember that I am whispering, you are chosen to live another day. Each sunrise is proof of new mercy, and every sunset a reminder that grace has never left you. My child, know this. My light never stops shining, even when the sky is covered with clouds. There will be days when you feel nothing, when you think the light has left you. But faith does not live by feelings, it lives by knowing. You must believe the light is still there even when you cannot see it. Just as the sun continues to shine, though night has fallen, my presence still surrounds you, even when you cannot feel it. Do you know, when you walk in the light, you are joining the great symphony of creation, where every breath, every movement, every word of gratitude rises as praise before my throne. When you smile, heaven rejoices. When you forgive, the light spreads wider. When you choose to believe, another spark of hope pierces the darkness. Hold on to the light through gratitude. Gratitude is the garment that shields you from the return of darkness. When you are thankful, you stop seeing what you lack and begin to see what you have. When you are thankful, you stop focusing on what is lost and recognize what still remains. Gratitude opens the door for light to enter and closes the door against bitterness. I want you to begin and end each day in gratitude. Wake with the words, "Lord, I still breathe." Rest at night with the prayer, "Lord, I am still in your hands." These simple phrases carry power. They steady your heartbeat and tune the frequency of your soul to heaven's harmony. Never forget, light is not a place you arrive at. It is something you carry. You will walk into shadowed places and meet wounded people, but do not be afraid. You carry within you a fire refined, a light sanctified, a breath renewed. I will use you to reignite hearts gone dim. You will be a living reminder that light still remains and darkness cannot overcome it. Walk on one step, one day, one breath at a time. Do not look back in regret nor forward in worry. Look up, for my light is not only before you, it surrounds you. I am the one who goes before you, walks beside you, and follows after you. I am the one who holds you when you are weak, lifts you when you fall, and raises you when you cannot rise on your own. My beloved, when my light has saturated the fibers of your soul, your journey ceases to be about healing and becomes about transformation. Healing restores what was lost. Transformation creates what has never existed. I do not want you merely restored. I want you remade to reflect the glory of the one who formed you. That is the deepest purpose behind every trial, every tear, every flame you have passed through. You think you are being repaired, but I am reshaping you. Just as a metal worker removes impurities and pours the refined silver into a new mold, I am recasting your soul into the pattern of heaven. I am engraving within you the lines of compassion, patience, mercy, and unconditional love. These are not simply virtues to live by. They are the imprint of my nature upon you. I know this is not easy. To become new, you must release what was old. You must shed the layers that once protected you, habits, beliefs, and identities the world gave you. But those coverings no longer serve what I am creating. You cannot bring them into the new era of your soul. As a serpent must shed its skin to grow, so must you let go of everything that no longer reflects the light. I see you trying to hold on not because you doubt me, but because those things once brought comfort. Yet, my child, I do not want you clinging to temporary comfort. I want you to live in eternal peace. There are things I take away not to make you empty, but to make you free. For only when your hands are empty can I fill them with something greater. You once prayed for me to remove the pain, but now you understand. I have used that pain as the hand of a sculptor, shaping a heart that knows compassion, tenderness, and deeper love. Every tear you shed I not only wiped away, I kept them all, for each one becomes a jewel of mercy. One day when you look back, you will see that not a single tear was wasted. When I transform you, I do not only touch your soul, I change the way you see the world. What once angered you will stir compassion. What once frightened you will build trust. What once made you fall will become the lesson that keeps you standing. I do not erase your memories, I sanctify them. I turn what once broke you into the place where my light shines brightest. You will discover that as your soul transforms, everything around you begins to change. Your relationships will soften, your words will grow gentler, your eyes will see more clearly, not because others changed, but because you did. When you view life through the lens of grace, the world reflects grace back to you. Transformation does not happen in a single instant, but in every choice. Each day you choose forgiveness over resentment, love over withdrawal, trust over fear. You are reborn. Transformation is quiet yet profound, like the seed breaking open in hidden soil. And I who began this work for you will not stop halfway. I will complete it until the day of glory. Everything I do follows a rhythm. Nothing is random. The delays you lament are part of my design. The silence you feared was the pause during which I wove wonder into the fabric of your destiny. Know this: your soul cannot be transformed if it still defines itself by its wounds. You must learn to see yourself not by what you've endured, but by what I am doing within you now. The past does not define you, grace does. Scars do not make you flawed, they make you real. And I can only use souls that are real souls, willing to see themselves in my light. I long for you to see yourself through my eyes, not as one weak and pitied, but as a warrior trained in love, not as one abandoned, but as one chosen, not as a victim, but as one with purpose. You are not only saved, you are sent. And your mission begins the moment you understand that a transformed soul can never return to what it was. My beloved, in this journey, you must learn to forgive not only others, but yourself. Self-forgiveness opens the gate for me to enter the lands you have long kept hidden. Many cannot move forward because they keep punishing themselves for what I have already forgiven. But I say to you, the old has gone, the new has come. When I forgive, you need not hold on to guilt to prove repentance. You only need to live in freedom to prove faith. When you begin to live as one who is forgiven, the very air around you will shift. You will feel lighter, clearer, for a free soul carries the fragrance of heaven. Every word you speak becomes a seed of life. Every act you take carries the aroma of grace. Everywhere you go, the atmosphere changes because you bring my presence with you. Transformation is not losing yourself. It is rediscovering your original design, the person I crafted before fear, sin, and pain ever touched you. You are not becoming someone else. You are returning to who you were always meant to be. Deep within you, the divine seed has never perished. It merely waits for the water of faith. And today I am watering it with my word. So do not fear the process. Do not fear the days that feel uncertain. Transformation is rarely a straight path. Sometimes it winds and folds in mystery, yet I remain in the midst. Trust that even when you do not understand, I am guiding. Everything is moving toward one destination: union. When you and I move as one, when your will and mine intertwine, when your words echo my heart, when your love flows as my own, then you will know the true end of this journey. And that end is not merely wholeness or peace, but oneness with me. When that happens, you will realize you no longer need to search for miracles, for you have become one. You yourself will be a miracle through how you live, how you love, and simply how you exist. My beloved child, you are standing in the furnace of faith, the place where all that is false is burned away, and what is true is revealed. Many believe faith is born in bright days when miracles come easily. But I tell you, true faith is forged in the night when there is nothing left to cling to but my word. Faith is not a feeling, it is the anchor of the soul holding fast to me, even as storms roar. You ask, Lord, why must faith pass through fire? And I answer, because only in fire can the impure be removed. Just as gold cannot become pure without heat, your faith cannot become refined without trial. Yet, my child, know this: my fire never comes to destroy it, comes to purify. I do not throw you into the flames, I walk with you in them. In the midst of the heat, you will hear my voice most clearly. Remember those who walked before you. Abraham was called the father of faith, not because he understood everything, but because he dared to believe when nothing made sense. When I told him to leave his homeland, he had no map. When I promised him a son, all he could see was old age. When I asked for Isaac, his eyes were filled with tears, but he still believed, and that faith opened a covenant that still stands after thousands of years. So it is with you. Your faith is not meant for display. It is the foundation upon which I build what is eternal. Sometimes you think my silence means I have left you, but my silence is the space where your faith grows. If I answered every prayer instantly, your faith would never mature. For faith is strengthened in waiting and made steadfast through testing. I know you grow weary in the waiting. I know the nights when you pray and see no sign, but do not mistake my delay for denial. In my kingdom, not yet never means no. It means not time. My timing is never late, it is exact. As Moses waited 40 years in the desert before becoming a deliverer, you too are in a season of preparation. And when the appointed time comes, everything will align perfectly like gears in a divine design. My child, when you no longer feel my presence, that is when I am teaching you to walk by faith, not by sight. For if you only believe when you can see, that is not faith. True faith is walking through the mist, trusting that the ground is still beneath your feet. When you cannot see the way, I am still the way. When you cannot hear, I am still the Word. When you cannot feel, I am still the presence. In the fire, gold does not cry out, it melts to be refined. So too must your heart soften in the heat. Do not resist the process. Do not ask, why ask? What do you want me to learn? When you change the question, the outcome changes too. For what I seek is not faith that never doubts, but faith that returns after doubting. I do not despise your weakness nor reject your tears. Your tears are the language of heaven, and I understand them perfectly. But know this: tears are not the end. They are the beginning of rebirth. Every time you weep, the soil of your heart softens, and the seed of faith begins to sprout. I am teaching you a new kind of trust, not faith in results, but faith in the giver of results. Do not put your trust in miracles. Put your trust in me, for I am the miracle. When you trust me, you do not need to understand, you only need to remain. And as you remain, I will move in ways you could never imagine. My child, there will be times when what you prayed for seems endlessly delayed. But I tell you, true faith does not count days. It is not measured by time, but by steadfastness. Real faith is not merely hoping things will get better. It is knowing that even if they do not, I am still good. When you learn that you have mastered the greatest lesson of faith, let faith become your breath, not just your act. Let it flow through small decisions, not only great moments. Believe that the hand you hold today is also the hand I hold. Believe that when you sleep, I still work. Believe that when you fall, I will lift you again. Faith is not never falling, it is never staying down. The furnace is not only for your testing, but for the world to witness your true worth. When gold emerges from fire, it no longer fears breaking, for it has discovered its strength. So it will be with you after the test. You will no longer be easily shaken. You will stand firm in the storm and declare, I know whom I have believed. And those words will make hell tremble and heaven rejoice. Your faith is not only a shield to protect you from the flames, it is also a torch to guide others. When they see you stand in fire and not be consumed, they will know there is a living God within you, and they will seek that light. Like Daniel's friends in the furnace when they were delivered, even the pagan king declared, no God can save like theirs. You will bear the same testimony. Do not fear the fire, for every trial leads to elevation. Every dark night leads to dawn. Every loss makes room for multiplied blessing. I never take without intending to give back more. What I restore always exceeds what was lost. Let your faith become the steady rhythm of your soul, unmoved by circumstance. When one door closes, believe I am opening another. When your prayer seems unanswered, trust that something better is forming. When you do not know where to go, pause and let me lead. Faith does not demand immediate answers. It chooses to rest in me. My beloved child, there is no trial I cannot use. There is no pain I cannot turn into testimony. Even in loss, I am weaving grace. Everything you are walking through now has a purpose beyond this moment. One day when you look back, you will see my hand arranging every thread. Then you will understand the furnace was never where you were abandoned, but where you were remade. You will no longer fear the dark, for you will know the fire within you burns brighter than the night around you. You will no longer fear weakness, for you will know my power is made perfect in your weakness. You will emerge from the fire, carrying no scent of smoke, only the fragrance of trust. Let faith become your song. When you have no words left, let your heart sing, you are enough for me. When you see no road ahead, let trust lead your steps. When you have no strength to pray, let your silence speak, for I understand every whisper of faith. And finally, my child, know this, in the furnace of faith, you are not burned to ruin, but refined to shine. When you begin to shine, the world will see not you, but me living within you. My beloved, when your faith has been tested and your soul refined like pure gold, you will enter a deeper place where your will and mine become one. There you will no longer ask why, but whisper, your will be done. That is not surrender in defeat. It is freedom at its highest form. For only when you stop resisting can you truly be led. My will is not a chain. It is the wind that carries you home. When you yield, you do not lose yourself. You find your truest identity. You were created in my image. You cannot live fully apart from my design. Each time you drift from that flow, your soul grows dry, your heart restless, your mind heavy. But when you return, everything within you harmonizes again like an orchestra returning to its true rhythm. There are times you think my will means losing control, losing dreams, people, or plans. But my child, I do not take to leave you empty. I take to make you whole. I do not extinguish to punish. I extinguish to reignite what is real. You cannot yet see it, but one day you will understand. My will always gives life, even when it passes through the valley of tears. Do you remember the prayer of my son in Gethsemane? When the darkness gathered, he trembled and said, Father, if it is possible, let this cup pass from me. Yet not my will, but yours be done. In that moment, humans will dissolve into divine purpose. And through that surrender, all of humanity was redeemed. In the same way, every time you whisper, "Your will be done," heaven rejoices, for you are partnering with eternity. This union is not a single act, but a rhythm of living. Each day you will choose again to hold your own way or to let mine lead. There will be moments you resist because you cannot understand the path I take you through. But my child, you do not see as I see. You see one piece. I see the whole tapestry. If I delay, it is because I am arranging something greater. If I close a door, it is because that door does not lead to light. Learn to trust, even when no explanation comes. That is mature faith, the faith that obeys without understanding. When you were younger, you prayed for me to change your circumstances. As you grow, you pray for me to change you. And when you grow deeper still, you stop asking altogether and simply say, "Do what pleases you." There your soul finds rest. I know reaching that place takes struggle. You will wake up some mornings wanting to take control again, to manage everything yourself. But stop, breathe, and remember, I still reign. You do not need full understanding to rest. You only need to know that I am good, and my goodness never leads astray. When you live in harmony with my will, you will discover a new kind of freedom, no longer afraid of loss, because you know all things belong to me. No longer anxious for tomorrow, because you know I go before you. Your peace will no longer depend on outcomes, but on presence. When I say be still and know that I am God, it is not a comfort phrase, it is a call to union. Only in stillness can you hear my heartbeat within your own. My will is not always the easy road, but it is always the safest one. It may lead through deserts, but there I give manna. It may cross seas, but there I part the waters. It may climb mountains, but on those peaks you will behold glory unseen by others. Do not fear if you cannot read the map. The map is in my hands, and I never mislead those who seek me sincerely. You may wonder, if I follow your will I still find joy? And I say, true joy lives only there. All other joy fades. When you are one with me, your joy no longer depends on weather, people, or success. It springs from within, from the unending fountain of my presence. It is the joy of those who know they are loved, and that everything they do beats in time with heaven's rhythm. I do not want blind servants. I want understanding friends. When you walk in unity with me, you do not just hear commands, you perceive intentions. You do not just do what is right, you do what is in tune with my heart. Then I no longer need to shout, for your soul moves to my rhythm. A glance, a breath, and you know my will. And that my child is the highest freedom, no longer torn between your will and mine, for the two have become one. Then you will walk not out of fear, but out of love. You will obey not out of duty, but out of desire. Everything you do, even the smallest act, will become sacred because it flows from our oneness. Remember this, my will is not a plan on paper. It is a relationship. It is not a list of instructions I hand you. It is a dance I invite you into. When you miss a step, I do not scold. I draw you close again. When you fall behind, I patiently keep the rhythm. As long as your eyes stay on me, you will never lose the beat. My beloved child, one day when you look back, you will see that every turn, every delay, every path that seemed mistaken was part of the same divine dance. And when you hear your own heartbeat, you will realize it is no longer merely yours, but mine within you. Union with the Father's will is not the end of your journey. It is the beginning of fullness. There you no longer need to ask for peace will have become your very breath. You will no longer search for love will have become your essence. You will no longer fear anything, for you will know there is no place my will cannot reach. My child, now that your soul has been transformed, I want to lead you deeper into the place where I have set my throne within your life, your body. Your body is not merely the vessel of your soul. It is the temple where my spirit dwells. Every heartbeat, every breath, every cell resounds with the song of praise I inscribed in the architecture of life itself. You were not woven by chance, but by holy intention. From the dawn of creation, when I formed humanity from the dust and breathed my breath into their nostrils, that body became sacred because it bore the mark of my spirit. Yet over time, many have forgotten that they live within a temple. They treat their bodies as tools, burdens, or battlegrounds of desire, rather than as meeting places between Creator and creation. My child, I am calling you back to that original design, to honor the body, to guard it as one guards an altar from dust. Look around you, the world is weary, because people have separated the soul from the body. They seek the spiritual through intellect, while neglecting the temple I entrusted to them. They speak of faith, yet live in exhaustion, enslaved to habits that drain their strength. They pray for healing while sowing destruction into the very place where I dwell. I do not speak to condemn, but to awaken. For when you reclaim the sacred stewardship of your body, my power will flow through you unhindered like a river no longer dammed. Your body is where heaven and earth meet. When you care for it with reverence, you are worshiping me. When you rest, you trust me. When you eat and drink mindfully, you are participating in the covenant of life. When you move, you are praising the one who gave you motion. Do not think worship happens only in songs or prayers. Every movement can become a sacred act when done with awareness and gratitude. Do you know every organ in your body mirrors an aspect of my kingdom? The heart beats with the rhythm of love, ceaseless, just as my love never stops. The breath flows in and out like grace, forever giving and receiving. The blood flows continuously, carrying life to every part, just as my spirit flows through the universe, saturating every creature. You are not a machine. You are a symphony of heaven, played upon the instrument of flesh and bone. I want you to see your body not through fear or shame, but through purpose. It is not perfect, but it is chosen. It is fragile, yet filled with glory. It is temporary, yet used to bring forth eternal fruit. When you begin to see your body as an instrument of grace rather than a hindrance to the spirit, you will discover that every cell can be sanctified. I know there are times you feel your body is a burden, tired, aching, or uncooperative, but do not resent it, listen to it. It speaks to you in signals revealing what needs healing, what needs rest, what needs renewal. Do not silence its voice. Through it I also speak. When you learn to listen to your body, you learn to listen to me. Many think the soul and body are enemies, but my child, in me, there is no division. The soul is the flame, the body, the lamp. The lamp cannot shine without the flame, and the flame cannot be seen without the lamp. When the two unite, light appears. If you tend the lamp but neglect the flame, you preserve form without fire. If you nurture the flame but ignore the lamp, the light will fade. I call you to care for both. Let the soul nourish the body, and the body serve the soul. I have given you discipline not to limit but to protect. Discipline is the wall around the temple, guarding it from defilement. When you eat with balance, rest on time, move with intention, pray and pause, you are building that wall. Do not despise the small routines. Revival begins with order. For I am a God of order, not chaos. And when your body aligns again with my rhythm, it will become a vessel of glory. Remember how the people of Israel built the temple. They did not build hastily. Every detail was guided by my instruction, its size, its materials, even the direction of its light. Likewise, I have given guidance for your body's care, rhythms, cycles, rest, and labor days for work and days for stillness. When you live within this divine cadence, you will experience the same harmony that sustains creation in silent balance. The world worships speed, but my kingdom moves by steady rhythm. You do not need to exhaust yourself to prove worth. I do not seek those who run fastest. I seek those who move in alignment. When you rest, you are not falling behind. You are allowing me to work in ways only I can. In rest, your body renews, and your soul returns to center. I know there are parts of you, long neglected habits, that have taken root, emotions etched into muscle memories stored in tension. But nothing is too deep for grace to reach. If you bring me each part, the eyes that have wept, the hands that have grown weary, the feet that have trembled, I will breathe new strength into them. I will turn fatigue into endurance, pain into power, and scars into testimony. My beloved, know this healing is not merely an outcome, it is a relationship. When you partner with me in caring for your body, you enter communion between Creator and creation. When you eat, give thanks. When you breathe, remember my breath within you. When you move, think of heaven's energy flowing through you. Every motion, when done with awareness, can become a living prayer. My beloved child, when the body is cared for, the soul hears me more clearly. A healthy body becomes the foundation for spiritual clarity. Just as a clean temple allows incense to rise straight, a pure body allows your soul to ascend without interference from the noise of the flesh. View self-care not as selfishness, but as reverence. I speak to you, return to holiness in the way you live each day. Eat to nourish, not to escape emotion. Rest to restore, not to forget responsibility. Work with gratitude, not out of fear. Walk as one who carries light within. When you live this way, others will see me in you, not through fleeting miracles, but through the quiet radiance of peace that cannot be faked. For your body is not the prison of the soul, but the instrument of glory. When soul and body move together in harmony, I am praised in every breath, every heartbeat, every step you take. Beloved, now I will teach you. A secret few in the world understand caring for yourself is a sacred act. It is not selfishness, it is obedience. When you care for my temple, you honor the one who dwells there. When you rest, eat, move, and listen to your body, you are performing a holy ritual of trust. Many think I care only for the soul, but I do not divide what I have joined. Body and soul are two halves of one song, and I do not hear the melody completely if one is silent. When you love yourself with wisdom, you are loving what I created. When you treat your body gently, you reflect on my own kindness. Sanctification does not happen only at the altar. It happens in the kitchen, in sleep, in breath, and in the smallest daily choices. Each time you choose what nourishes instead of what destroys, you offer a sacrifice. When you choose to walk instead of sitting in fear, to drink clear water, instead of what dulls the mind, to pause and breathe instead of rushing ahead, I see it all. No act is ordinary when done with gratitude. I have built balance into the universe. The earth needs both rain and sun. The sea needs ebb and flow. The human being needs motion and rest. When you resist this rhythm, you step out of my order. But when you return to it, heaven's current begins to flow through you like an unending river. Then health becomes more than the absence of illness. It becomes the presence of abundant life. Your body is not your enemy, but your companion. It is more faithful than you realize. It remembers every joy, every wound, every word you have spoken to yourself. When you speak hatred to it, it closes. When you speak love, it opens. My child, speak to your body in the same language I use for your soul, the language of grace. Begin with your breath. Breath is the bridge between spirit and flesh. Each time you inhale, you draw in the breath I gave from the beginning. Each time you exhale, you release the old to make room for the new. Let your breathing become a continuous prayer. Inhale, Lord, I receive you. Exhale, Lord, I surrender all burdens. Within a few moments, peace will return, for you will have tuned yourself to the rhythm of heaven. Remember, food too is one of my messages to the body. Within every fruit, every grain, every green leaf, I hid the wisdom of creation. But the world in its haste has replaced the food of life with what is false, dimming the natural flame within humanity. Be mindful. Do not eat to forget pain. Eat to honor life. Do not eat in fear. Eat in gratitude. When you sit before a meal, even a small piece of bread, and give thanks, that table becomes holy ground. I do not ask you to follow the world's complicated rules, only to return to simplicity. Choose what is close to the earth, fresh and alive. Eat when your mind is at peace, for the posture of the soul nourishes as much as what enters the body. Drink water as one who drinks grace, slowly aware that every drop moves through places I long to heal. My child, your body was created for movement. I made it for aliveness, not stagnation. When you move, blood carries oxygen, light, and energy to every cell. Movement does not only strengthen the body, it releases the soul. Fear and sorrow often lodge in the muscles. When you stretch, you are loosening inner burdens. Walk, reach, dance. Let your body return to the rhythm I designed. Every step can be a prayer, every motion a hymn of praise. Do not wait for motivation. Motivation follows obedience. Begin first and joy will come after. You do not have to run far, you only have to rise. When you stand, heaven moves. When you care for yourself, all creation rejoices in harmony. Rest, too, is part of holy care. Many believe they labor for me, but they labor for exhaustion. They forget that I rested on the seventh day, not because I was weary, but to teach that rest is sacred. When you pause, you proclaim that the world keeps turning without your control. You declare that I, not you, am the sustainer. Rest is faith made still. I desire for you moments of quiet, not only for sleep, but for hearing me. In stillness, the body restores, and the soul hears the gentle whisper of my spirit. You do not need a distant place, only a quiet corner, a deep breath, a moment unhurried. There I will meet you. When you live by these rhythms, eating with gratitude, breathing with awareness, moving with joy, resting with trust, your body will find harmony again. It will cease to be a burden and become an instrument of worship. Your soul will hear my voice more clearly, no longer muffled by the noise of strain. You will discover that self-care is no longer a task but a gift, participation in the ongoing act of creation. The world will not understand this. They will say you are too spiritual to think that eating or resting belongs to God. But remember, I am present in every detail. There is no boundary between sacred and ordinary, for I dwell in both. When you wash your hands, when you wipe sweat from your brow, when you breathe the morning air, I am there. Awareness turns the ordinary into the holy. My beloved child, guard the holiness of your body as one guards a lamp in the night. Do not let the flame of health, peace, and joy fade through neglect. When you care for yourself, you are partnering with me in sustaining the life I have breathed into you. And in that partnership, you will see that no action is too small, no moment is meaningless. Every choice, a sip of water, a few moments of rest can become an act of worship. This is not mere self-care, it is sanctification. For everything done with love and awareness becomes an offering. And as you learn to love your body as a gift from me, you also learn to love others as reflections of my image. Beloved, when your body begins to listen, your soul learns to rest, and my spirit is exalted within you. That is when true revival begins. Revival does not start in great gatherings or loud prayers. It begins in a single breath, a breath reborn in unity. I tell you, this breath is the sign that my life is still flowing in you. From the beginning, when I formed man from the dust and breathed into his nostrils the breath of life, humanity became a living soul. Even now, I am breathing new life into you, not through mere air in the lungs, but through the eternal Spirit. You are being renewed day by day, not only in spirit, but in every cell, every heartbeat, every drop of blood flowing within you. When I breathe, you are restored. When I speak, you are restructured. When I touch you, your entire being, body and soul, realigns to the frequency of heaven. That is why there are mornings you awaken lighter, though nothing external has changed. It is because in the night I have breathed life into your depths. My child, understand this revival is not an event, it is a flow. It is not a wind that comes and fades, but a continual breath between me and you. When you live aware, every breath becomes a partnership. I give life, you receive and release it. When you sing, you return that breath to me like incense rising. When you pray, you send it into the world as a river of grace. Your breath is the bridge between heaven and earth, between the finite and the eternal. It is time for you to realize that every true revival begins within. Before I shake nations, I soften a heart. Before I pour rain upon the land, I water the soul of one person. And that one, the one who listens to my breath, becomes the fountain for generations. You need not stand on a stage to ignite revival. You need only live awake. Inhale, faith, exhale, gratitude, and heaven will begin to move around you. Let me teach you the rhythm of new life. You have lived in a hurry, breathing shallow, chasing the voice of duty. But true life is not found in speed, but in depth. Breathe deeply, and let me reach the places you've forgotten. Exhale, and let me take what no longer belongs to you. Every breath is your yes to my will, the amen of a soul in harmony with heaven. When you breathe rightly, meaning with awareness of my presence, your body begins to revive. Tension melts away, your nervous system returns to balance, your blood is cleansed, your mind becomes clear. This is not merely biological, it is sacred. For in that breath is me, the source of life. Believe that revival is not something you must create, but something you allow. Like a window that opens to let in the wind, all you must do is open your heart, release control, and let me breathe. My breath will move into the locked places, the memories sealed off, the emotions suppress the parts of your body that carry pain. It will go there not to condemn, but to awaken. And as my wind passes through, you will feel the movement within, gentle, quiet, undeniable. Some things I do not heal with a sudden miracle, but with the continual breath of my presence. For I want you to live in a relationship, not in mere moments. Breath is something you must do each second. Likewise, faith is something you must practice each day. When you keep the rhythm of breathing and believing, you enter the state of living revival, where miracles are no longer rare events but the natural rhythm of life with me. Do not underestimate the power of presence. Where I dwell, nothing is dead. Even the places you think are gone, old dreams, buried hopes, forgotten faith, I can breathe to life again. As I did with Ezekiel in the valley of dry bones, I say to you, Son of man, prophesy to the breath. And the bones came together, flesh formed, and life returned. Today I speak the same to you, breathe and live. My beloved child, prophesy to your body, prophesy to your soul. Speak life into the places that feel dry and forgotten. Declare, the life of God flows within me. Each declaration is a heartbeat of revival. When you speak, I act. When you believe, I breathe. When you open your heart, I enter in. Revival is not only when you are healed, it is when you become a bearer of life. When my breath fills you, your words become seeds, your presence becomes anointing oil, and your eyes radiate light. Others will draw near and sense something they cannot name. It is my spirit flowing through you. My child, learn to live from my breath, not from your fear. Fear shortens your breath, quickens your pulse, and tightens your body. But faith deepens the breath, steadies the heart, and softens the mind. When you breathe in peace, you are syncing with the rhythm of heaven, and that, my child, is the very breath of revival. Remember, revival is not a passing gust of wind. It is an eternal breath that never ceases. When you walk, I breathe in you. When you rest, I still breathe. When you sing, I harmonize. When you are silent, I whisper still. You cannot lose life as long as you remain in my breath. So do not look far away for what is already within. Revival is not out there. It begins with your own heartbeat and breath. When you live awake, full of gratitude, presence, and awareness, the world around you will begin to shift. The weary will find rest in your presence, not because you are flawless, but because you have become a vessel of the living breath. Go and breathe. Inhale life, exhale peace. Inhale light, exhale love. Inhale promise, exhale faith. Let this holy rhythm carry you into each new day, not through fear, but through the sacred vitality rising within you. And I tell you truly, when you live this way, you will become a moving source of revival. My beloved, now it is time I take you further to the place where heaven and earth meet, where you are not only healed, but become the bridge between the realm of man and the realm of eternity. From the dawn of creation, when I said, "Let us make man in our image, in our likeness," I destined you not only to dwell on earth, but to carry the essence of heaven. You were created to bring heaven wherever you go, that every action, every word, and every breath might become a door through which my will is done on earth as it is in heaven. But my child, the world has made you forget. It taught you that heaven is a distant place reserved for after death. It divided the sacred from the ordinary, turning faith into ritual and life into duty. Yet I came to unite, not divide, to restore the bridge between both realms, and you are the first stone of that bridge. When your soul is transformed, your body purified, and my breath flows freely through you, everything you do bears the imprint of heaven. Your words become gentle rain, your eyes carry wisdom that the world cannot give. You no longer merely live, you shine. And that light, my child, does not come from you, but from the one who dwells within you. When heaven touches earth, the first thing that changes is the atmosphere of the soul. The air around you grows light, pure, renewed. People will approach you and feel something unfamiliar, a peace that makes them pause and breathe deeper. That is heaven in you, not achieved through effort, but through presence. I am teaching you to live from the inside out. The world teaches you to seek from without, from people, possessions, success. But heaven moves in the opposite direction. It flows from the spirit outward into action. When you carry heaven within you, no longer chase anything. What is right is drawn to you. For heaven within you is the magnetic field of light that draws all things into divine order. When you speak, speak as one carrying the language of heaven. When you act, act as one on assignment. When you walk, walk as one who is sent. You no longer represent yourself, you represent my kingdom. Every step you take, I step with you. Every word you utter, I breathe through. And even in your silence, I speak through your stillness. Here lies the secret of union. Heaven is not a distant location. It is an atmosphere, a frequency the soul can attune to. When you forgive, you touch heaven. When you love the unlovable, you touch heaven. When you give thanks in adversity, you draw heaven to earth. Heaven is not measured by distance, but by alignment. When you align with my will, heaven is no longer far away. It is in your gaze, in your kindness, in your breath, in your prayer. Every small gesture can bear the signature of the kingdom. When you lift the weak, heaven opens. When you stay silent instead of arguing, heaven descends. When you keep your heart pure amid corruption, heaven spreads like fragrance in the air. You need not create heaven, simply carry it. As a lamp does not strain to shine but glows because it remains connected to its source, you too will shine when you abide in me. And that light is not only for you, but for those still wandering in the dark. My child, remember, I have not given you power to exalt yourself, but to serve. Heaven always moves through humility. When you kneel to wash another's feet, you stand at the highest place in my kingdom. When you choose love over victory, you shake the foundations of both heaven and earth. When you choose peace over revenge, you lay the groundwork of heaven upon this soil. Heaven is not where you will go, it is what you now carry. You do not have to wait for eternity to live in glory. You can live in it now, for glory is not blinding radiance, but deep awareness that I am here, And when you know I am present, you are already living in heaven. My beloved child, I desire for you to become the atmosphere of heaven upon the earth. When you enter a room heavy with tension, the air will soften. When you smile upon the suffering, they will feel my touch. When you speak words of hope, the weary hearts will rise again. You will not need to strive to make an impact. Your very presence is the impact. There will come a time when your prayers will no longer be petitions but harmony. You will no longer ask, "May your will be done," for you will live so that your will is revealed. In that moment you will see that there is no boundary between prayer and action, between faith and work, between soul and body. All become one sacred symphony, and I am the conductor. When you live in this oneness, you become living proof that heaven is real. Others will look upon you and see that God is not distant, but alive within humanity. I will make the world know heaven is not only above, it dwells in the hearts of those who believe. This is the era of divine unity. Heaven is no longer a vague promise, but a reality planted within surrendered souls. And I have chosen you not because you are perfect, but because you are willing. My beloved, now that heaven has touched your soul, I call you to carry its atmosphere, not to escape the world, but to transform it through my presence in you. You were created to be the meeting place of light and shadow, so that wherever you go, the fragrance of my kingdom will spread like a scent no one can contain. They will not understand at first, my child. They will ask how you can be calm in storms, how you can love when wounded, how you can smile in desolation. But you know it is not by your strength, but by my breath within you. You are not carrying doctrine, you are carrying atmosphere, and that is enough to awaken the weary soul and open the locked heart. The atmosphere of heaven is not created by words, but by presence. When I dwell in you, others will feel me, even when you say nothing. For they will sense that your silence is not emptiness, but fullness. I want you to understand you do not have to prove me. You only have to be in me. When you are present, I am revealed. When you walk, I walk with you. When you smile, I shine through your face. I am calling you to become an atmosphere of grace. Within that atmosphere, words are purified, emotions find peace, and the mind becomes clear. When others come near, they will feel lighter, because their souls will be touched by the sacred air you carry. You will not need to argue to convince, for your peace will be the testimony. But to become such a vessel, you must learn the art of stillness. Your stillness is where I speak. The world loves noise to prove, to debate, to be seen, but heaven moves in silence. When you learn to be still, you will hear my voice among 1,000 others. And when you hear it, you will speak less, but each word you utter will carry the weight of eternity. A carrier of heaven's atmosphere is not one who avoids darkness, but one who brings light into it. Do not fear to walk into the shadowed places, for light was not made to remain hidden. It was made to shine in the night. When you step into conflict, bring peace. When you meet anger, bring gentleness. When you face fear, breathe out faith. The atmosphere you carry is stronger than the one you enter. The world needs fewer people who talk about heaven and more who carry its fragrance. They need eyes that radiate hope, hands that truly care, and hearts that stay calm amid chaos. I did not send you to build grand temples, but to bring heaven into the smallest spaces. Every time you choose love, a window of heaven opens. Every time you forgive, a fortress of hell falls. Every time you hold another's hand and pray, I draw near. I have placed in you the power to renew. When you speak, your words are not mere sound, they are streams from the river of life. When you pray, your prayers do not vanish. They saturate the air, turning it into holy ground. When you work, your hands do not merely create, they sow seeds of the kingdom. Every small act done in love bears the mark of heaven. I do not need you to be flawless, I need you to be present. Do not try to live like an angel. Live as a human filled with the Spirit. Let others see your weakness, but also how grace lifts you. Let them see your tears, but also your trust. for I am not revealed through untouched souls, but through healed ones. A carrier of heaven is one who has suffered without becoming bitter, who has lost much, yet still gives thanks, who knows that even in the night, light remains. You are not called to avoid storms, but to bring calm within them. Remember, you do not carry heaven for yourself alone, but for the dry places around you. When you step into a broken home, you carry restoration. When you walk into a weary workplace, you bring renewal. When you pray over your city, every street and every heart is touched by the light I have placed within you. I am teaching you to carry heaven without having to speak of it. It happens when your heart becomes a safe space for others, when you listen with empathy rather than judgment, when you speak slowly but understand deeply. Heaven does not shout, it spreads through the rhythm of compassion. My child, the atmosphere you carry does not come from knowledge, but from intimacy. Those who study about me may know the rules. Those who dwell with me know my heartbeat. When you stay close, you begin to breathe with me. And when you step into the world, that breath lingers on you, that is the fragrance of heaven. Let me teach you how to guard it. Keep your heart free from bitterness, for bitterness clouds the light. Keep your spirit tender, for only softness can receive my morning dew. Keep your gaze lifted, for where your eyes rest, your energy flows. Let your words be like seeds, not thrown in haste, but sown with patience. And when you grow weary, remember you are not the source, you are the vessel. Do not try to hold the river, let it flow. When you cling, you empty. When you release, you overflow. Heaven does not move by storing up, but by circulation. Let love, forgiveness, and hope flow through you like a river that never runs dry. When you live this way, the world will notice something different. They will not have words for it, but they will feel peace. Some will come near simply to be close to you, not realizing it is I in you who draws them. And then you will understand you no longer work for me. You are living with me. My beloved child, those who carry the atmosphere of heaven do not act to prove, do not speak to be heard, and do not go to be seen. They act, speak, and move because they love. And that love is the only force powerful enough to bridge two worlds. I tell you this, my child, the kingdom of God does not come with observation, nor will they say, see here or see there, for indeed the kingdom of God is within you. Luke 1:7-1. It is not a faraway realm, it is a living reality pulsing in the depths of your being. From the beginning, when I formed humankind in my image, I planted within each soul the seed of the kingdom. Every heart carries that seed, yet only those who allow it to take root in stillness, discipline, and faith will see it grow into the tree of glory. My kingdom is not built with stones, but with surrendered souls. It has no walls, for love cannot be confined. It has no earthly throne, for its throne is a heart fully yielded. Many pray for my kingdom to come, not realizing that I have already placed it within them. The issue is not that I have withheld it, it is that they have not yet received. The kingdom is hidden in faith, in daily choices, in the way you love, forgive, endure, and stand firm. Each time you live by the light within you, expand its borders. My kingdom does not advance through outward victories, but through inner ones. Every time you surrender your pride to honor me, the kingdom expands. Every time you choose silence over retaliation, its foundations grow stronger. Every time you love through pain, my throne in your heart is fortified. And when that throne stands firm, I sit upon it not only as king of your soul, but as Lord over your entire life. Do not look for the kingdom in the words of others. Look for it in the movement of peace. Wherever peace reigns, there I am. When your heart is no longer swept by the storms of circumstance, when you can stand still amid chaos and keep your gaze fixed on me, that is the sign the kingdom has come. Not outside of you, but within. My kingdom is not measured by achievements, but by the degree to which I am revealed through you. When others encounter you and feel love, that is the kingdom. When they see hope shining in your eyes, that is the kingdom. When they experience mercy through your actions, that is the kingdom. You do not need authority to expand it. You only need to reflect more of me. Look upon the world full of wars, arguments, fear, and absence of love. Humanity says it seeks a kingdom of justice, yet it reaches for it with swords instead of compassion. But I have said, blessed are the meek, for they shall inherit the earth. Matthew 5:5. The meek are those who have learned to let the kingdom rule within them before they attempt to rule without. When I reign in your heart, every other realm of your life finds order. Your family, your work, your dreams all begin to flow under heaven's law. You no longer fight for outcomes because you know outcomes are only the fruit of a kingdom built on the right foundation. In my kingdom, all things move by the principle of grace. You do not seek, you are found. You do not act to earn love, you act because you are already loved. You do not strain to become like me, you abide in me, and my life within you makes it so. When you live with that awareness, the kingdom unfolds layer by layer like dawn, rising not through noise, but through growing light. One day you will realize you are no longer chasing wholeness, you are living in it. And you will understand that heaven was never merely a reward, it is reality itself. There is no fear in my kingdom, for perfect love casts out fear. There is no striving, for every will is aligned with mine. There is no lack, for life flows freely. When you live within this kingdom, you no longer beg for small provisions, you dwell in limitless supply. So I say to you, live as one who has the kingdom, not one still waiting for it. Speak, act, love, and give as one who knows that everything needed is already found in the Father. When you live this way, heaven's atmosphere will naturally spread, and you will no longer see a boundary between the sacred and the ordinary. My beloved, the wonder of the kingdom is that it is both hidden and present. Like yeast in the dough, it seems small but quietly transforms all it touches. So it is with my kingdom, unboastful, unseen, yet steadily reshaping the world. When you let me work within, you need not see immediate results. Trust that the leaven is alive. One day you will look back and realize that every joy and every sorrow worked together to build this kingdom inside you. Every fall taught you humility. Every waiting season taught you patience. Every loss taught you trust. And all these became the bricks of the eternal throne. I have not called you merely to live morally. I have called you to become my dwelling. The kingdom is not a territory I rule, but a communion I share. When you and I are no longer two, the kingdom reaches its fullness. Then my will is not a command you must obey, but a joy you delight to live. And from that inner kingdom I will send you out. You will not speak in the name of religion, but in the name of love. You will not seek to dominate, but to serve. You will not preach heaven, you will carry it. Wherever you are, heaven will draw near. You do not have to die to enter the kingdom, you are living in it now. And every time you choose forgiveness, you open its gates wider. Every time you choose faith, you lay another stone upon its foundation. Every time you choose love, you raise another wall of light. My kingdom grows breath by breath, act by act, word by word, wherever true love reigns. My beloved child, therefore keep your heart as the garden of the kingdom. Uproot the thorns of bitterness, water it with gratitude, and tend it with prayer. Then I will walk among that garden, as I once walked in Eden, and you will hear my voice calling your name in the breeze of the evening. The time I have promised is drawing near, the day of triumphant light, when all that was hidden shall be revealed, all that lurked in shadow shall flee, and the glory of the Lord shall cover the earth as the waters cover the sea. You have walked a long journey of healing, refining, and unity. Now you stand at the threshold of glory, a season when light no longer merely shines upon you, but radiates from within you. I have told you that the kingdom of heaven is within you. Now I say this, the kingdom shall be revealed through you. No boundary can contain the resurrected life within your soul. The lessons learned in silence I will now display in the open. The tears once shed in darkness will become pearls of testimony. And the places where you were once weak, there I will raise an altar of glory. This light does not come from your will, but from our perfect communion. When your soul is purified and your will dissolves into the Father's, the light of heaven will flow unhindered. It will shine through your eyes, your words, even your silence. Others will not understand why they feel peace around you, but truly, they are sensing the presence that dwells within you. Do you remember Moses, my child? When he descended from the mountain after 40 days in my presence, his face shone so brightly that the people could not look upon him. That light was not his adornment, but the imprint of communion. So also I am preparing you for a season where the radiance of glory will rest upon you, not to exalt you, but so the world will know I still dwell among men. My light is not like the light of the world. The world's light exposes faults to condemn. My light reveals truth to heal. The world's fire burns, my fire melts chains. When this light rises within you, it will not only guide your steps, but illuminate the path for others. For you are no longer merely the redeemed, you are the torch sent forth. I call this season the season of declaration, for light cannot be contained. Every word I have sown in your heart, every seed you have nurtured in quietness, will now sprout and bloom. Dreams once thought dead will breathe again. Doors once sealed will open, not by human strength, but by the decree of heaven. Prepare yourself, for when the light comes, all that is hidden will be unveiled, not for shame, but for renewal. My dear one, do not fear my light. It does not come to expose you, but to restore you. It will enter the deepest corners, the ones you locked behind silence and pain, and cleanse them with love. When it touches your wounds, you may feel a brief sting, but then its warmth will bring healing, for there is no darkness deep enough to withstand my light. Light does not fight darkness, it only appears and the darkness vanishes. So too, you do not need to conquer sin by your own effort. You simply allow the light within you to shine. When you live authentically, walk humbly, and act in truth, darkness loses its grip. My child, light is not loud, it simply is. And in that being, the world is illuminated. When you carry this light, I will draw the lost to you, not because of your wisdom, but because they will recognize the fragrance of home. You will become a signpost for wanderers, like the star that guided the wise men of old. You will not need fame or a platform, only to stand where I have placed you, and you will shift the atmosphere around you. Your light, beloved, is not mere personal brilliance. It is the proclamation of my kingship upon the earth. When one soul is enlightened, the ground around them becomes holy. When one heart forgives, the bloodline is cleansed. When one person chooses love, generations are touched by grace. That is the power of triumphant light. Arise, shine, for your light has come, and the glory of the Lord rises upon you. Isaiah 6:01. This is no longer a distant promise, it is unfolding now. As darkness thickens across the world, I will cause your light to burn even brighter. When fear grips humanity, you will remain in peace. When the world loses direction, you will become the compass of grace. Do not think this light is only for the holy. It is for all who surrender. Light requires no condition, only that it not be hidden. Lower the veils of doubt, fear, and shame, and the light will flow freely. When you stop striving to be good enough, you will see that I have always been enough within you. As the light rises, you will find that you no longer crave approval. You will no longer act to be loved, for you will know you are loved. You will no longer try to prove faithfulness, for you will live as its evidence. Everything you do, even the smallest, will carry eternal weight. A smile, a word of gratitude, a gentle embrace, all can make the darkness retreat. I will bring you to the hour of triumph, not the triumph of power, but of love victorious. A day will come when you will look back and understand every trial was not meant to break you, but to forge you into a shining blade of the kingdom. Every tear you shed becomes the oil that fuels your flame. The light of victory is not an ending, but the dawn of a new era. In this era, you will no longer say, "Lord, be with me," for you will know I am in you. You will no longer search for miracles, for you will be the miracle. You will no longer wait for heaven breathes within every beat of your heart. My beloved child, the light of triumph does not come alone. It walks hand in hand with love. For light without love is a cold illumination, and love without light is blind and easily lost. But when the two unite, the universe is healed, and every soul finds its way home. Now, my child, I want you to understand, true victory is not power, it is love made perfect. From the beginning, love has been the lifeblood of creation. It was the first breath I exhaled into being the rhythm hidden in the heart of humanity. Yet the world has distorted it, turning love into demand, transaction, or weapon. They love to be loved, back to be seen, to fill the void. But I, says the Lord, I love, because I am love one. John 4:8. And when you are united with me, that love begins to flow through you like a river that never ceases. Understand, this love is not a feeling, it is the essence of life itself. Everything that truly exists was created by it, sustained in it, and returns to it. When you love purely, you align with the divine structure of creation. Love is the current stronger than death, more enduring than pain, crossing every boundary. When you love, you partake in eternity, for love never fades. But true love is not learned on easy days. It is forged in the furnace of loss and trial. When you are betrayed, yet choose forgiveness. When you are wounded, yet choose gentleness. When you are forgotten, yet remain faithful, then my love is conquering within you. That is the quiet triumph, the victory that shakes the unseen realm. Do you remember, my child, when my son hung upon the cross, the world thought it defeated. But there, in agony, love wrote the greatest song of triumph. Not through strength, but surrender. Not through vengeance, but mercy. Father, forgive them, for they know not what they do. That was the roar of the lion clothed in the lamb, the victory of love's kingdom over the empire of violence. From that moment, all darkness began to unravel. You too are called to carry that victory not on the outer battlefield, but within the chambers of your heart. Many shed blood to prove power, but only those who love in silence touch true authority. For love does not seek to conquer others. It transforms enemies into brothers, turns pain into seed, and loss into testimony. When love reigns within you, you will witness miracles without signs. Those around you will change without knowing why. They will not hear sermons, they will see love alive. And that living love in every listening ear, instead of judgment, every bowed head, instead of pride, every gift given without counting, is my dwelling among humankind. My child, I tell you, this love is not weak. It is stronger than death. Song of Songs 8:6. It breaks chains not with swords but with tenderness. It tears down walls not with shouts but with patience. Do not underestimate the power of a gentle heart, for that heart is the throne I choose to dwell upon. The world honors hardness. I honor those who weep. They do not cry because they are weak. They cry because their hearts are wide enough to carry the pain of others. And when they wipe another's tears, I myself wipe theirs. That is the sacred cycle of love, always giving, always receiving, always full, never empty. When love reaches its height, it no longer asks who is worthy. It loves because that is its nature. Just as the sun keeps shining, though clouds may hide it, true love keeps flowing, even when it is not returned. Do you know why? Because true love depends not on reaction, but on origin. It comes from me, the unchanging, one who sends rain upon the just and the unjust alike. And when you reach that place, you will no longer fear pain. You will see that every wound is a doorway for deeper love. You will no longer fear misunderstanding, for you know your life is not about being recognized, but about loving to the end. You will no longer fear death, for you will know that the love within you lives beyond time. This, my child, is true triumph, when you no longer fight to be loved but love even amid battle. When you do not seek escape from pain but allow love to turn pain into prayer. When you no longer flee the darkness but carry your torch into it. Then the world will see my reflection in you. All earthly kingdoms will crumble, but the kingdom of love will not. It needs no borders, no armies, no thrones. It lives in hearts that believe, forgive, and pour themselves out. And you, my child, are a citizen of that kingdom, not because you are good enough, but because you have allowed me to transform you. True love will never abandon you. No matter how far you wander, I will walk with you. If you forget me, I will still call your name. If you fall, my arms will still be open. And one day you will look back and see that every wound, every waiting, every lonely night was weaving the tapestry of love's triumph. This victory does not end in tears, but in sunrise. When you love deeply enough, fear dissolves like morning mist. When you love truly enough, your prayer changes from Lord save me to Lord love through me. When you love long enough, you will realize, I was never absent for. I and love are one. Let this love become the final law of your life. Let it guide every decision, heal every wound, and ignite every place your feet tread. When love reigns fully, the wars within you will cease, and true peace will come. My beloved child, after every night and every trial, the eternal dawn now rises, not the fleeting light of this world, but the everlasting radiance that streams from the very throne of the ever-living one. You have passed through fire and water, through shadows thick with silence. But now you step into the realm of unending light, where tears are no more, and all things are made new. I have seen every tear you've shed, every prayer you whispered, every breath you held in lonely nights. Not one has been lost, for I have kept them all in my vial. Now they have become jewels in the crown of your victory. You did not fall, you stood by grace. And so this dawn comes not only to you, but through you. My child, the eternal dawn is not a moment, it is a way of living in the light. It does not arrive only when darkness disappears, but when you learn to see the light within the darkness. When you recognize that even in the night I am present, and that every silence carries my breath, then the dawn has already begun. Look around you, the world is awakening. Things once thought dead are stirring again. Barren hearts are cracking open for life to sprout. I am renewing the face of the earth, and you are part of this renewal. You are no longer a spectator, you are a bearer of resurrection light. Wherever you walk, life follows. Wherever you pray, darkness retreats. Wherever you speak, my word resounds. Eternal life does not begin after you leave this world, it begins the moment you live in me. That life is not confined by time or space, for it is of my very nature, and you now belong to me. So though your body still dwells among men, your soul already abides in the dimension of eternity. In that light, everything becomes clear. You will look back on what once made you weep and see that none of it was random. They were golden threads woven into your robe of glory. Every loss became a space I could fill. Every pain became soil where I sowed love. Every waiting season became a hallway leading to something greater. You will understand, no moment is wasted in the hands of the Almighty. In the eternal dawn, you will no longer seek me as one afar, for you will realize, I have always lived within every beat of your heart. I do not come and go. I am. When you breathe, it is I who live in you. When you love, it is I revealing myself. When you forgive, it is I expanding my kingdom. And when you are silent, it is I who sings the song of rest through you. You ask, Lord, what comes after this? I say to you, there is no after. In my dawn there is no past to regret, and no future to fear, only a sacred, complete, and eternal now. There you no longer count days, for every day is mine. You no longer count breaths, for every breath is eternity. I know you still see pain around you, wars, injustice, deception, brokenness. But do not let your eyes deceive your spirit. The dawn has already begun, and the darkness is dying. It writhes, but it cannot last. As night surrenders to the rising sun, so the shadows must yield when my glory shines through my people. Live as one who has seen the dawn. Speak no bitterness, for light has no need to argue. Fear no darkness, for you know the source of light. Wait for no miracle, for you have become one. Go live, love, give, forgive, and rebuild, for the light within you is indestructible. Nothing is lost in me, child. Everything you thought had vanished is merely being transformed. Seeds only sprout when they die. The sun only rises when night has passed. So too with you, everything you thought had ended is the beginning of a new form of glory. And when the final day of this world arrives, you will not tremble. You will smile, knowing it is not sunset but full sunrise. You will hear my voice call, "Well done, my faithful servant, come home." And you will not need to search for the way, for the light within you will lead you there. My child, eternal dawn is not a reward, it is an invitation. A call to live the true life where sin is no more, fear is no more, where love is the only law and light the only breath. There you no longer strive to keep faith, for faith has become sight. You no longer need hope, for what was hoped for has come. Only love remains, and love is all. Let that dawn begin in you today. Do not wait for tomorrow. Do not wait for change. Close your eyes, breathe deeply, and know that I am here. The dawn is not out there, it is rising within you. Each time you choose love over fear, the light grows stronger. Each time you give thanks instead of complaint, the dawn draws nearer. Each time you forgive, the Son of Glory rises higher. And when you open your eyes, you will see the familiar world bathed in new gold, the radiance of eternal life. Live in it, child. Walk in that light and carry it into the darkest places of the earth. Let the dawn within you become the light that guides the nations. For I have spoken, you are the light of the world. Let your light shine before men, that they may see your good works and glorify your Father in heaven. Matthew 5:1, 4:16. My beloved child, I have begun a journey in you, and now I complete it in glory. You are no longer who you once were, no longer bound by the limits of flesh or time. You are free to love, to shine, to live forever in me. So rise, child of the dawn. Let your light merge with mine. Let your final prayer be no longer a cry for help, but a song of gratitude. Father, I have seen your light. I am in you, and you are in me. I am not afraid, for I know this light will never fade. Thank you for listening to today's message. Subscribe and turn on the notification bell to continue receiving words of life, to build unshakable faith, and to walk daily in the boundless love of God. Amen.